Let's just dive right in. Think about it. Your brain is, without a doubt, the most powerful tool you will ever own. But here's the catch. It didn't come with an owner's manual. See, it's doing exactly what it was designed to do, which is to seek comfort and avoid anything that feels difficult. The problem? Well, in our world, comfort doesn't lead to growth. It leads to, well, being average. So think of this as the owner's manual you never got, a guide to finally overriding your brain's default settings.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? You had this grand plan to be super productive, but your brain has other ideas. And just like that, you've spent an hour deep diving the history of bubble wrap. Look, this isn't a flaw in your character. It's actually a feature of your brain's ancient programming. It's a comfort-seeking machine, plain and simple.
And that's the big question, isn't it? What if you could stop fighting your brain and actually start working with it? What if you had a set of cheat codes to turn all that resistance into real momentum? Well, the good news is you absolutely can, and we're about to break down those cheat codes step by step.
So here's our roadmap. First, we're going to get to the bottom of why our brain is such a procrastination machine. Then we'll get into 3 huge pillars for taking back control: taming your mind, hacking how you learn, and mastering your sleep. And finally, we'll wrap it all up into your brand new brain operating system.
Okay, let's start with the real root of the problem. Hard things, like writing that big paper or starting a new project, they trigger the exact same stress response in your brain as actual danger. So its response is totally logical. Nope, let's go do something easy and safe instead. Your brain evolved to protect you from lions, not to help you hit your deadlines.
There's actually a perfect term for this feeling from Buddhism. They call it the monkey mind. It's that restless, chaotic brain that just leaps from one random thought to another, doing literally anything to avoid the main task at hand. You could say it's allergic to effort.
And this is where the daily battle happens, right? This probably looks a little familiar. Your logical brain makes a plan, but your monkey mind comes up with an immediate counterplan. You need to go to the gym? Suddenly, making your kitchen counter sparkle becomes the most urgent and important task in the entire world. This isn't you being lazy. It's your brain playing chess using a strategic avoidance tactic.
So, how do we tame this wild monkey? We're going to use an ancient battle-tested strategy called the Lotus Method. And this isn't about brute force. It's not about fighting your way through resistance. It's about learning to flow with it. Let's break down the 5 steps.
All right, here's how it works. Step 1 is just awareness. You just have to catch your brain in the act of scamming you. Just naming it, saying, okay, this is avoidance, is enough to wake up your logical brain. Next, flow. Don't fight. Instead of going to war with resistance, pick a ridiculously easy gateway task and do it for just 10 minutes. Then you need stillness. Just 5 or 10 minutes of meditation each day helps calm all that mental chaos. From there, you move to intentional action. Your brain is terrible at multitasking, so just focus on one high-impact thing at a time. And finally, and this one's tough, practice patience. Real progress compounds over time. You can't force a lotus to bloom, and you can't force growth overnight.
Okay, once you've started to get a handle on your focus, the next step is to seriously supercharge your learning. I mean, most of us waste hours just staring at notes without actually absorbing a single thing. These next few hacks are designed to change that for good.
The first and, honestly, the most important principle for learning efficiently is the 80-20 rule. You've probably heard of it as the Pareto principle. It basically says that for almost anything in life, 80% of your results are going to come from just 20% of your effort. What this means is you have to stop studying like a perfectionist, trying to learn every single detail. Your job is to find that vital 20%, the core concepts, the topics that always pop up on old exams, and focus 80% of your energy right there. Everything else is just fluff. It's all about working smarter, not harder.
Okay, so you've found that vital 20%. Now, how do you actually install that information into your brain so it sticks? Well, let's stock up your mental toolkit with 4 incredibly powerful, science-backed techniques.
Seriously, these are absolute game changers. First up is the Feynman technique. It forces you to understand something deeply because, hey, if you can't explain it to a 5-year-old, you don't really get it. Second, active recall. This is about closing the book and testing yourself, not just rereading. It literally burns information into your long-term memory. Third, the memory palace, which lets you turn a place you know, like your house, into a mental cheat sheet. And finally, my favorite, the 5 sense trick. You actually hijack your sense of smell for instant recall. Imagine chewing cinnamon gum while you study, and then chewing that same gum during the test. It's like a secret shortcut right back to the information.
And now for our final pillar. And, this might just be the most important one of all. You can have all the focus and learning tricks in the world, but if you don't get proper rest, your brain can't file any of it away. But here's the secret. It's not about more sleep. It's about smarter sleep.
We've all been there. You get 9 hours of sleep and you still wake up feeling like a total zombie. That's because the number of hours you're in bed doesn't guarantee quality rest. The real goal isn't just more time in bed. It's getting more complete, high-quality sleep cycles. That's where the magic happens. The real brain and body recovery.
And here is the key number you have to remember: 90. Your sleep happens in cycles, and each one lasts about 90 minutes. You go from light sleep to deep sleep, where your body repairs itself, and then into REM sleep, where your brain consolidates all your memories. The problem is, if your alarm yanks you out of the middle of a deep sleep cycle, you are going to feel awful.
So here's the hack. It's so simple. Just plan your sleep in blocks of 90 minutes. So instead of just picking a random wake-up time, you calculate it so you complete full cycles. So you're aiming for 4.5 hours, 6 hours, or 7.5 hours. This one tiny change means you'll wake up at the end of a cycle, feeling refreshed and ready to go, not groggy and confused. And to make sure those cycles are actually high quality, you use the 3-2-1 method. This is just a simple power-down sequence that tells your body it's time to rest. So 3 hours before bed, no more big meals. 2 hours before, no more work. And 1 hour before bed, kill the screens. This is a non-negotiable ritual for getting elite-level rest.
Now, what you do the moment you wake up is just as important. First rule, don't touch your phone. Instead, go get 10 minutes of morning sunlight. This literally resets your internal clock. Then, jolt your system awake. Splash some cold water on your face or do 20 quick push-ups. This instantly wipes out that grogginess and boosts your energy for the day.
All right, let's bring this all home. We've gone from understanding your brain's lazy defaults to learning concrete methods for taming your focus, hacking your learning, and mastering your sleep. It is time to put it all together into your new and improved Brain OS 2.0.
So, here it is, the core of your new operating system. You're going to tame your mind not by fighting it, but by flowing with its resistance using the Lotus Method. You're going to supercharge your learning, not by studying harder, but by studying smarter with the 80-20 rule. And you're going to master your rest, not by sleeping longer, but by sleeping deeper in these 90-minute cycles. It all comes down to one fundamental principle. Your brain will always, always default to comfort. Your job is to intentionally and strategically choose growth instead. So I am going to leave you with this question. Because, knowledge isn't power. Applied knowledge is power. You now have the owner's manual. You have the tools. So what's the one hard thing you've been putting off that you are going to tackle today? Right now. Make a choice and go prove to your brain who's really in charge.